While we're answering this connection question too, I just have to say like a huge thank you to you guys for being flexible and figuring out how we do meetings in this new world where we can't be together all the time. And as we grow too, it's something that we're going to have to utilize and figure out how to do. And I hate it. I really, I still struggle because I can't see you. I'm talking to like a light on my screen, but I'm picturing all your beautiful faces, and I hope that you can feel the connection when you see other people from other areas of the company on there. We're all together, even though we can't see each other. And I spent like an hour this morning sitting on the floor trying to get into my presentation. So super fun. Oh, Hallie says hi. Hi, Hallie. Happy that you're here. So thank you for bearing with me as we figure out how to do these things. And stuff can change. So please continue to give me feedback. And we'll talk a little bit today too about like the plan for training going into this new year and what that's going to look like. And it's going to be, I keep having to remind myself it's going to be better than it used to be. So pre-COVID, if you were with us, we would like make one tasting room or another get up at like 4 a.m. to come and travel, and we'd train together in real life. And it'd be like a 5 or 6 hour day. And by the end of it, you don't even remember what we learned. And then I'd go away for a month. So I keep having to remind myself that the way we used to do it was kind of not necessarily sustainable either. So remembering that we have to just figure out how to do this. So give me feedback. If you haven't heard me say it before, you cannot offend me at all. It's not going to work. So you can tell me something stupid. I know how to receive feedback. I can teach you how to do that too. But please tell me, because we can change things. So hopefully it will be fun. There'll be some videos in there. There'll be like just like an hour of time with me in a webinar, some time with your team, a mixture of things to keep it engaging and exciting. And I want it to be stuff that you're going to want to learn, new stuff that you're going to want to learn. So it's not just going to be all that old stuff. If you were with us in the past, just throw all your ideas about training out the window. And we're going to learn some really fun, relevant things again. Jason, yes, I want to travel again soon. Hopefully we will get to see a little bit of in real life stuff. And before we get started with today, I just wanted to also acknowledge that we've been through a really tough year. There's been some crazy changes. Worldwide pandemic happened, and we changed our entire company name. But the exciting thing I was thinking about this morning as I was driving into the coast, so beautiful, was that through all of that, we stayed together. We're still together. And that's my favorite part of my job, is that we really are a family. And I think that that's pretty awesome. It's the thing that's kept me around and will keep me around in the future. It can be just a job to you if you want it to be, which seems lame. I really love the fact that it really is a family, and that proves it. The fact that we can change and shut down for a while and open back up and change our name, and our members and our guests are still loving us, still on board. A lot of them are just like, yeah, okay, we get it. It's cool. We're still here to drink. We're still happy for you. Happy to see you. It really is about the people. So I just wanted to take a minute and just acknowledge that while people are logging on, that we really did get through something pretty scary this year, pretty awful. And a lot of our personal lives were turned upside down as well. So the fact that we made it, and we're on a new path now, hopefully of growth, and a lot of the things that I'm going to teach you this year will, I guarantee you, if you listen and pay attention and care, will help you make more money and help you be a better human. That's all I want to do. I want to help you make more money and be a better human. And that's what I want too. I want to make more money, and I want to be a better human too. So I hope that we can all be on this kind of journey together, with that being said. So let's get into my presentation and agenda and things. Keep throwing up your 2 accessories. If you're an action figure, I want to know what your 2 accessories would be. That's our connection question. If you didn't see it in the beginning and you're still logging on, that's also going to be how I take attendance today. So let us know what your action figure items are. And then I'm going to do this fun thing where I share my screen with you. Cool. So the first thing we're going to learn about is body language, which is one of my absolute favorite things to talk about. And it's so much information, so we'll actually build on stuff. So we'll do a little training overview just so you know what to expect. You're going to hear me talk about this a lot, and we talk about it in our leadership meetings, that clear is kind and unclear is unkind. So I want you to know what to expect. I want you to know when those dates are that we're going to be doing these things so that you can join us. And I will be recording them as well. So if you can't, you get like a week or two to watch it and give me a little bit of feedback. I might give you a little bit quiz, but I will give you some points too. And thank you so much for those of you who are joining in with us on Assembly. I think we almost have 100% participation. So that's really exciting. And I've seen some really thoughtful and amazing recognitions on there. So keep that going. It might seem silly, but once we start cashing in on those points, it's going to seem even more awesome. And whoever, of course, gets the most points, don't forget, gets to go on the Rogue River next year, which is like one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. So looking forward to that. So we'll do a little overview of what training is, because I want you to be clear about what to expect. And then I'm going to introduce you to a couple of badass people. We're going to learn about some badass people too. So Vanessa Van Edwards, she's my girl crush. You're going to hear me talk about her a lot. She's in a lot of the videos I send out as well. Super amazing behavioral scientist. We're going to learn about Jack Schaefer. He's an ex-FBI agent, and he talks about how you just have to make friends with people, and that's how you get super spies to like cross teams and be on your team instead of theirs and get people to confess, and he's a super cool dude. We're going to learn some scientific terms because we're going to throw a bunch of science in there for it, because the love is real and science is real. We're going to learn about encoding and decoding. So learning how to use your body language to say what you want, and learning how to read what other people's body language says. People skills are life skills, people. I want to teach you life skills, not just to use here while you're working at Evoke, but like wherever you go on in the future. If you go on somewhere else in the future, I care about you. I want you to do well and be able to communicate with people. It's so funny because we're taught our whole lives that don't talk to strangers. And then you become an adult, and that's all you have to do is talk to strangers every single day. So how do we do that is a big part of what we do, especially when we're about connection. And then we're going to start with that number one skill, which is body language. We're just going to learn a couple of friend signals and do a little friend or foe activity in your teams a little bit later when you get together as individual teams. That's what we're going to be talking about. So body language is the closest thing that you can get to reading somebody's mind. And why do we want to read someone's mind? So that we can offer them something they're going to enjoy and get them to join Club Evoke. And we're going to talk more about Club this year too, which I'm super excited about. So body language is where it's at, and it's universal, which is kind of cool. So training overview. So I'm only going to do 6 super skills classes this year. 6 classes. I'll say this is one down. You only have 5 more after this. It's just going to be an hour. So it's an hour with me doing this little webinar presentation, and then you're going to spend an hour with your teams for aha moments, little activities, quizzes, because I like to get you like up and moving around and interacting with each other, because that's really important if you want to stay connected. So there are 6 pathways to connection. Number 1 is body language. We're going to learn about that today. Charisma is the next one, so that'll be for May. I'm not going to make you do any training during Club Month for those tasting room teams, because I understand that time is super valuable, and you can only fit so much in your brain in 1 month. Always club members take a lot of energy during that time, and I understand that. We're going to talk about rapport, building rapport, priming. I have a storytelling and a magic moments, really fun ones for the end of the year as we wrap up, so it'll be kind of lighthearted and lovely. We'll get into the basics and the science, and then we're going to just do some like storytelling and magic moments at the end of the year. So you'll also get those individual team trainings with links and videos to everything we talk about. So all this information will be organized really nicely for you if you need to get back to it at some point. And then we'll also do some team bonding this year. There's going to be some wine training happening, some in real life training happening. And we'll make sure to let you know way in advance when all those dates are, and send you lots of reminder emails. So for those of you who click back on those emails, I really appreciate it. Gives me an idea of that you're engaging and makes me feel good since I can't see you in real life, which drives me crazy. So part of our brand connection here, which has not changed at all, is we feel modern and not heritage. So throw all your ideas about communication, training out the window. We're going to do something new. We're going to revamp it. It's a new world. It's a new name. It's a new everything. So heritage says you either have it or you don't. Charismatic people are just born that way. And for a long time, our founders would tell me, like, can we just clone you and will you just teach people how to be you? And that was like the worst approach ever. Like, that's not what we want at all. I want you to be you. I want to help take advantage of your personality and your strengths and make it work for you so that you can make lots of money and lots of friends. So charismatic people are not just born that way. You can learn it. People skills can be learned, and their life skills. So that's what we're going to do. Here's Vanessa. She's gorgeous. We love her. Behavioral investigator with the Science of People. You're going to hear me talk about her a lot. She's really fantastic. She's also a body language trainer and expert. And everything she does is based on science and research. She has her own little lab where she does people experiments, and I hope to be that person someday. So it's a superpower. We're going to give you the body language superpower. So you can secretly know what someone is thinking, get a raise without working any harder, have a date night you'll never forget and want more, and connect with your guests and members within 3 seconds. So not just at work, but in your personal lives too. And I'll have a little bonus class about lie detection at the end of the year. If you're really into these and you like them, we'll go there. So I'm also going to talk about these 3 magical scientific things all the time: serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. So serotonin is that neurotransmitter that helps us feel calm. It helps us feel like we belong, like a warm blanket. Like that's that really connection. Dopamine, that's the pleasure one. Snaps your brain out of autopilot. Ooh, something new, something pleasurable. It wakes your brain up and you get a little kick of dopamine. When someone asks you, oh, how are you? You're like, oh, I'm fine, how are you? That doesn't wake you up. But if someone goes, oh, hey, what's going on in your world? I haven't seen you in so long. That's actually going to give you a little kick of dopamine and wake you up because it's out of the normal script. That's what we're trying to do. And oxytocin, of course, that's the connection one. That's my favorite one. It's what helps us feel like we're connected. So I'm going to talk about those a lot, and I want you to know those terms. Encoding and decoding, like I said, I'm also going to use those a little bit today, so just give you a preview. Encoding, of course, is using your own body language to say something specific, and decoding is reading other people. So we're going to read other people, and you can do it from like across the room. I like to do it when we're out at a restaurant and guess like who in the room at the restaurant is on a Tinder date and like how is the Tinder date going. It's one of my favorite things to do with people. It's a fun experiment. If you want, go watch people, see if you can decode them from afar. One of the coolest things about body language is it is universal. It doesn't matter what kind of culture you grew up with, language you grew up with. And these are just some examples, right? Charlie Chaplin, Silent Bob, Penn and Teller, or Teller from Penn and Teller, WALL-E. Oh my gosh, WALL-E was such a universal, amazing movie because they say like 2 words in the entire thing, and it's all about, even though they're cartoons, the facial expressions and the body language, and it just tells an entire story. Courage the Cowardly Dog, and bonus points if you can throw up in the chat another one. There's another cartoon from my childhood, and it has animals. It's a cat and a mouse, I'll say that. And it was all just instrumental. 0 talking, just body language and chasing each other around. Bonus points if you can throw up in the chat what I'm thinking of. But you can portray the entire spectrum of human emotion and tell really compelling stories without words. So it's not just about being the loudest person in the room or like talking the most or talking a ton to your people. It's just about connecting with them and figuring out and getting them to connect with you as well. So Jack, we're going to talk about Jack a little bit too. He's the ex-FBI agent, as I said before. He writes a book called The Like Switch. I'm going to refer to that a lot. And in The Like Switch, he talks about the top 3 friend signals. So I'm sure that you can guess what they are. What is it? Super easy. So it is the eyebrow flash. Now that we have to wear a mask, I use my eyebrows a lot when I talk to people and I look into their eyes. You can even like add a little head nod if you really want to get people's attention. The eyebrow flash, super easy one. And there's a lot of science too that I'll share with you. People make judgments about us within seconds. It happens in like seconds. So even before you speak, using these little friend signals is a great way to build rapport and connect with somebody right away. So the eyebrow flash, don't forget to use your eyebrows. The head tilts. This is such a good one, especially if someone's telling you a story. If you tilt your head, they love that. And this is actually a really scientific thing, because if I'm tilting my head, I am exposing my jugular vein to you. That's very trusting. You'll see animals do that, little animals. I love it when dogs do that. They're like, you feel like they're communicating with you, and they kind of tilt their head and talk to you. It's fun. And then the smile. The smile is so powerful. And even though you have to wear a mask, you can tell what a real smile looks like, and our brains can tell what a real smile looks like. One of my favorite experiments is when people ask me to take a picture of them, or if they're taking a picture for some reason, because we're all about, if we didn't take a picture, it doesn't count. And I'll tell them a funny joke before I take their picture, because you'll get the real smile. Or instead of saying cheese, say money. So if you look at the little picture here, one of the smiles of this adorable little girl is someone saying cheese and her reaction. And then the other smile, you can tell, is a lot more real, and because someone said money, and that made her light up a little bit more. So you can always tell if it's a real smile because it goes up into your eyes. And I'm actually going to give you a really cool example of that with masks on at the end of this, and we'll see if we can guess who has a real smile and who doesn't. So the other body language tip is, now that we've talked about the eyebrow raise and the smile, we're going to talk about, and the head tilt. So this is all up here. Now we're going to talk about the rest of your body. So we started with the top. That's the top. We're engaging with eyebrows, with eyes, with smiles, with a head tilt maybe. And then we want to think about our torso and our toes. So top, torso, and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. That's how I remember it. So we start with the top with your head, with all those things we talked about. And then we talk about your shoulders and your torso. So if your torso is open, you're not like blocked off or blocking yourself off, like you have an open torso and it's aligned with the person in front of you, that is that positive body language. I'm here and listening to you. And then your toes. Actually, this is a fun little bonus tip. Your toes generally point to the person in the room that you like the most or that you find the most attractive. So if you look in a room and you've got people standing in a circle and you notice that some of those people, if their toes are all kind of pointing towards each other, that really means that they're into their little group. They don't really want outsiders coming in. They like each other a lot. But if their toes are kind of pointed outward, it means other people are welcome to come into the group, or maybe they're looking at someone across the room they think is really attractive, and subconsciously their toes just kind of gravitate that way. So head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Think about those things with body language. Once you actually start to recognize it and see it, it's really fun to experiment with people. I've been doing a lot of that. Sometimes we don't know what to do with our hands. What do I do with my hands when I'm talking to people? It's awkward sometimes. So I'm going to tell you what to do with your hands. There's lots of cool things you can do with our hands, actually. We're going to listen to Vanessa for a second so I can get a sip of water. She's so pretty. Okay, why can't we hear it? Okay, this happened in my last meeting too, and I don't know why, because I'm still learning about these things. So I'm gonna send you the video, and that will just like save us even more time. So you can watch the video within your teams. But she talks about I need a Tracy to come help me with some of this IT stuff, like in the real moment, because it's super, we're having a little bit of a frustrating day, but it's okay. That's life right now and technology, right? So let's see. I'm just gonna see. Well, I will send it to you. But Vanessa talks about things that you can do with your hands, using expressive gestures with your hands. People that use expressive hands are really popular. You'll notice that I do that a lot. I'm a very hands person. Using the steeple is another thing. She talks about some really cool influencers and people that give TED Talks, and the reason that they're so popular is these body language things, these 7 body language secrets. So we'll keep it a secret for now, but I'll share that link with you so you can watch it later at home or you can watch it with your teams. But she's absolutely a fabulous person. So study after study shows that nonverbal communication is what you need to be an effective salesperson. People can tell right within seconds, even on the phone. I sent a fun little Vanessa video to our customer care team about how to sound more confident on the phone. Not that they need it, but even if you're having a little bit of a bad day, people can tell in your voice. It's really interesting. So there is a study, a very specific study, and I have it attached here as well if you want to read it. But salespeople who use their body language increase their sales by 56% only after 1 training. That's money, honey. We like that. And this is like the pathway to everything. The right body language is going to help us build rapport, connect with people, build that trust. People want to buy stuff from people that they love, that they like, that they trust, that they think is like them. There's a mirroring experiment for you guys to do together as teams, which I'll be excited to hear results and aha moments from that. Mirroring is really fun. I mean, you can do it on your own time if you want to experiment with people like I do. But just when someone's talking to you, not necessarily doing everything they're doing, but if they have their finger up like this, you know, maybe also doing that, or making sure that your head, shoulders, knees, and toes are all engaged with them. Those kind of things really light up people's brains and make them like they like us right away before we even open our mouth, which is great because sometimes you talk all day long and you don't want to open your mouth anymore and you just want to use sign language like, oh, it's not smart, why? Like, do you need more? You can also come up with some fun things on your own. So when you do the friend or foe activity, there's certain things that I want you to look for. We're gonna, in your teams when you get together, and I'll probably do this with the customer care team and the leadership group too, but I've got several pictures for you to look at, and I want you to pick out as many signals as you can find, whether they're positive or negative. So those friend signals that we talked about, like the head tilt, the smile, torso alignment, the head, shoulders, knees, and toes, the expressive hands. There's another one they call food forking. So if you're feeding somebody else, that is quite an intimate sign that your relationship is very connected. Deep gazing, physical touch. And then you can also look for the opposites of that. So those faux signals, which we'll talk a little bit more about in the next body language training. We're just doing kind of the basics today. But no smile, you know, the eyebrow raise can also be a negative thing. So it's kind of fun to see if you can figure out what's a good eyebrow raise and what's like a negative eyebrow raise. I wish Chelsea was here to do her eyebrow raise because she has the best eyebrow raise. Not making eye contact, disaligning your torso with someone. I talk about that later and trying to get out of conversations if you need to. Disalign your torso with someone also is like, I gotta get out of here. Rolling eyes, folding arms, having your phone out, having kind of the lip purse, like, I think your wine is just gimmicky. Like, you'll have to really convince me today. Like, I've seen that lip purse, it's fun. And then of course that physical touch part too. People are like physically touching. So you will practice this a little bit. I've got some slides for you to look at in your teams when you do your individual meetings. Because it's just kind of fun to look at some scenarios and see if you can point them out. And you'll be really interested to see how quickly it is to realize what's going on in your tasting rooms with your people when you start to read their body language. It's really actually very fun. So I'm going to leave you with these parting words from Jack Schaefer. He talks about the golden rule of friendship, which is, that's the goal here. Like, we just want to make friends with people and help people make memories. That's where our story starts. So the golden rule of friendship is, if you want people to like you, you have to make them feel good about themselves. I really want you to think about that. if you want someone to like you, you have to make them feel good about themselves. You have to make them feel wanted. So that's the thing that we do better than a bunch of other wineries, because these are the things that will turn people off if you are robotic or dismissive or pretentious, right? Those are the things. We don't want to be robotic or dismissive or pretentious, because you can get that experience somewhere else. We actually want to be the place where you can come, feel like you're at home, have fun, connect with someone. I'm going to use your name. I'm going to show you with my body language, and I'm going to read yours as well, so that if there's any problems, we can squash them right away and figure it out. So I hope you enjoyed this little webinar, and it didn't take too long, and go off into the world and make memories with people and experiment with people. It's super fun. So that's it for me. You can shut me off now, or if you want to throw up anything into the Q&A box. Actually, let's give like 5 minutes. We did good. We're on like way time. It only took half an hour. That's fantastic. So if you have a question, let's do questions and comments. Sarah, I know you're sitting over there, so you have to throw up a question or a comment. It's what you have to do. And I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. Now I can see your comments. Oh, try putting it on YouTube. I see your comment now. That's fine. I'll send you the video and you can look at it later. It's a fun one. Or now that we've got through this so quickly, you can watch it right now after this if you want to. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, though. I probably do have to pop out of the presentation and do it on YouTube. All right, if you didn't tell us what your action figure items are either, you can do that now if you'd like. And we'll just give you a few more minutes and you don't have anything else. Oh, what kind of verbal cues, such as over the phone, is there for creating connection? So over the phone, oh, I'm glad that you, oh, HRTR laptop, that's probably Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. Lindsay's the one that said, we always talk about we make wine in friendship, and she said we make wine in better humans with training. So I love that. That's gonna be my new mantra. Thanks, Lindsay. It's we make wine in better humans. And you actually can smile when you're talking to a customer over the phone. People can tell you're smiling even if it's over the phone. And it really makes a big difference how you say hello, just that initial hello. You want to think about something happy while you're saying hello, because if you're distracted or you're angry at all, people can totally understand that. Oh, absolutely use their name. Karina pointed that out too for over the phone. Using people's names is something that nobody does. I did this experiment the other day, and we'll do trainings about this as well. But I went to like 4 different places just running errands, grocery store, this or that. Nobody used my names. And I actually got a lot of people that I interacted with to tell me their whole story. Karina and I talked about this, telling me their entire life story. Like I knew their names. I knew that they moved here from Montana and that they really want to move to Hood River and they're into beer and their grandma just had a birthday. And I left that interaction and they didn't ask one question about me, didn't reciprocate at all. People love to talk about themselves and they love to hear their names. It's one of those big, big things. Lindsay also says, find something you have in common with them. And so you can talk to them while you're looking up their account. That is a huge one for on the phone, especially for customer care. Especially if I'm having problems with the internet, I'll say, and what's going on in your world? Or if I see notes on the account, like, oh, how's your daughter Vivian been doing? Or if I'm friends with them on Facebook or something, and I can reference something that they have been doing to get them talking or connect with them on that level on the phone. It's really fun. And then it also gives you some time. People just want to talk right now about anything. I've found I've been doing customer service from home with the customer care team, which has been super fun. And people just really need an outlet. They need someone to talk to, whether it's just somebody on the phone or, even if it's just someone in the tasting room. And then open-ended questions is a big one. We'll actually have a whole section about open-ended questions. Open-ended questions is actually boring. We're going to start calling it conversation sparkers. And I made a video for you about my top 10 conversation sparkers. And Ave taught me how to edit videos yesterday. So you look forward to seeing some of those fun things and my little face doing some videos and things. So we're going to learn about all of that stuff that's here that's going to help you connect. But we're just starting with the basics today. A little body language, go out there, do some experimenting. We're going to end early, give you some time to, oh, let's see. Chelsea texted me. Let's see what Chelsea says. Oh, she said Google is back up. That was like a minute before the presentation happened. Google went down. Google went right back up before this started. So thank you, internet gods, for not making me cry while I was sitting on the floor trying to restart the internet. That's life. That's what happens. All right. You guys are the best. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. And if you didn't get to watch and you're watching this later, I appreciate you all so much. Go out there and help people make memories. Stop being boring. Let's connect. Thank you, Avi. I love you. I'm just going to hang out here while you guys log off. And then I'm going to end it. Thanks for all the thank yous. Thank you for being here. All right, until next time, we'll learn about charisma.